The buzzer sounds, the teammates' hands link and raise up in victory, the heads of the other team dip in defeat. The orange basketball is flung up in celebration. The young student athletes, they then dance around, releasing a year's worth of pent-up stress due to basketball and, in theory, schoolwork. Another men's basketball NCAA championship has been won. The winning team gathers, exchanging high fives and hugs as ladders are brought out to the court and positioned underneath the baskets. With a pair of scissors in hand, each member of the team, from the players to the coaches to the training staff, are given a chance to climb the ladder and snip a tangible piece of this memory for themselves. By doing this, they are engaging in the tradition that is known as the cutting of the nets. The basketball net, the very same one that had shot after shot swished through it, pushing this team to victory, has now become a piece of sports memorabilia. This custom of cutting the nets began where many other basketball traditions had their beginnings, in the state of Indiana. When asked by his Indiana high school yearbook what he believed his future occupation would be, Everett Case answered basketball coach. And this was in 1919. That's before there was the NCAA, that's before there was the NBA, and it's definitely before basketball held a strong place in the sporting consciousness. For an 18-year-old high school graduate to answer that question with an occupation that was, well, not really an occupation at the time, showed that he had an undying passion for the game. And also maybe that he was a little bit delusional. But upon graduation, Case attended the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay. Afterwards, he went to the University of Illinois to study the finer points of the game under the great Ralph Jones, considered by many to be the father of Indiana high school basketball. At the age of 22, Case was selected over 18 other applicants to become Frankfort High's basketball and track coach. Within 3 years, Case led the small Central Indiana high school to the state championship. Over his 16-season tenure at Frankfort, Case's teams would win the state championship 3 more times. After each championship, Case would remind his boys to always cherish the memory and perhaps take a little something that would help them with that task. Often that little something was the basketball nets. In 1941, at the age of 41, Everett Case gave up being a high school basketball coach to join the Navy. It was said that Case, ever enthusiastic and patriotic, joined in such haste that he left his desk at the school fully stocked and didn't retrieve his belongings until he returned 5 years later. While in the Navy, Case was commissioned as a senior grade lieutenant and trained in Chicago and California. But his real talents were coaching and organizing young men to play basketball. He was appointed the Navy's assistant athletic director and the director of basketball. After the war, Case returned to the state of Indiana to retrieve his belongings from his desk, but he did not stay long. Upon leaving the Navy, he took his coaching expertise south and became the head coach at North Carolina State University. Case had immediate success at NC State, leading them to the 1946 Southern Conference title. In 1947, NC State again won the conference title. Upon victory, Everett Case, excited, proud, and wanting to cherish the memory, harked back to his days at Frankfort High in Indiana. Remembering his players snipping at the net, he asked arena workers for a ladder. Unfortunately, there was no ladder to be found. Case, undeterred, had his players hoist him up on their shoulders for him to grab at the twine memento. The Hoosier tradition has now found its way to the national stage. Case would go on to become a coaching legend, establishing NC State as a college basketball powerhouse. They would win 4 more Southern Conference titles before moving to the Atlantic Coast Conference, the ACC, and winning 4 more. He was named the ACC Coach of the Year 3 times. Case is credited in turning North Carolina, always football country, into a basketball-crazed state. He popularized the postseason tournament, convincing the ACC to put on their conference tournament in his home arena, and the NCAA to award the winner of the conference tournament automatic entrance into the NCAA championship tournament. He is still the winningest coach in NC State history and was enshrined into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 1982. In 1964, Case was diagnosed with multiple melanoma, a cancer of plasma cells. The disease is incredibly painful as it slowly eats away at the bone marrow in one's body. Case had to retire only 2 games into the season. During their year's ACC tournament, Case was not on the sideline, but rather sat courtside and confined to a wheelchair. He watched as his NC State Wolfpack upset the top-ranked and interstate rival Duke Blue Devils. When the final buzzer sounded, the players walked over to Case and helped him out of his wheelchair. They placed their beloved coach on their shoulders and watched as Case snipped his final net. 18 months later, Everett Case would pass away, but the tradition of preserving lifelong college basketball memories with a snip of twine, it still persists to this very day. So I really hope you found that video interesting. If you did, please do give us a thumbs up below and don't forget to subscribe. We've got brand new videos just like this every day of the week. If you're looking for a channel where I also do daily videos just in a slightly different format, do check out Top 10s. You'll find a link to that below. And as always, thank you for watching.